Hey guys! Where's my hug at? Every year, one artist gets the honor of performing at the Super Bowl. And every year, conservatives are mad about it. Tale as old as time at this point, dude. There could be a halftime show where Jesus comes down from the sky and he's like, "Be kinder to one another. You all must unite in the name of God." And they'd still have a problem with it.
That's not Jesus. Jesus is white.
So Bad Bunny was chosen this year, and he's a huge artist. He has 19 billion streams on Spotify. He was like the top global artist of 2025, so a lot of people love him and a lot of people know him.
Is Donkey coming? Is Donkey coming?
I did a ton of research, aka I'm chronically online, to find out the majority of the problems conservatives have with Bad Bunny performing the Super Bowl. Okay, wait, Bad Bunny didn't perform the Super Bowl, he performed the halftime. Okay, it's not just one guy running around with a ball. Number one, he speaks Spanish, and most of the people in the United States don't speak Spanish.
We are in America, so we need to speak American.
Number two, the lyrics are filled with smut and drugs. How would you know? I only thought you spoke American. And finally, number three, Bad Bunny is woke.
I call it the woke bowl because we're getting more and more woke, and we got Bad Bunny or Bad Rabbit at halftime.
Because during the Grammy Awards, he said this.
Eyes out.
Oh God. How dare he? In response to that anger, Turning Point USA, which is a nonprofit conservative organization founded by Charlie Kirk, you know, that one guy.
Oh, she passed away? Oh. All right.
Decided to create their own halftime show. I mean, just like, really? Why can't you guys just have fun and celebrate and participate with the rest of the class? You see, us girls, we don't need our own concert. We listen to real music. We aren't like those conservative, mentally ill snowflakes who only think that two genders exist. So they named it the All-American Halftime Show, which means this is a concert for good old-fashioned Christian folk who drink beer, love America, and are white. It's a celebration of family, faith, and freedom of white people. The All-American Halftime Show is an opportunity for all Americans to enjoy a halftime show with no agenda other than to celebrate faith, family, and freedom. So no agenda. No agenda. I found an interview with the spokesperson about this whole event, and he explains there's something else that inspired the idea.
We actually uncovered a tweet from Charlie in 2014, and he was bemoaning the halftime show, and I think the tweet was something along the lines of, you know, what, is clothing optional now for the halftime show?
I just want you to guess what the halftime show was in 2014. Think about it. You got your answers locked in? Okay. Because you're wrong. It was Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. The All-American Halftime Show was created in response to Charlie Kirk being offended at man nipples. I mean, damn. Rest in peace, Charlie. You would have loved pretending to hate heated rivalry. The headliner was Chris Rock. Chris Rock?
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
It was Kid Rock, just to prepare you for what's to come.
Is Donkey coming?
Here's a clip. Yeesh. Other performers were Brantley Gilbert, Brice,
I just wanna catch my fish.
and Gabby Barrett. Wait, is that Gabby Barrett or Carrie Underwood? Whatever, it doesn't matter. So I watched it, and it was terrible. Worse than I thought, even. I didn't know that was possible, but yeah. I honestly think that this is one of the worst things conservatives have ever done, if not the worst. And that's saying a lot. So I can't wait to complain about it for 20 minutes. But first, I want to talk about something that I love, which is today's sponsor. Today's sponsor is Incogni, which is awesome because I've been using Incogni for over a year since they last sponsored me. Let me explain. In the past, I may not have been the safest when it comes to putting my information out on the internet. And then I became a content creator, and I started worrying about my information being accessible to everybody out there. Looked myself up on Google and yeah, There's my name. Oh, there's my address and my phone number and my family members. Okay. And you don't want this to be you. This leaves you vulnerable to scams, hackers, identity theft. So in order to protect yourself, you should use Incogni. Incogni tracks down and removes your personal data from multiple sites, including online directories, people search sites, and even commercial databases. Incogni also has custom removals. So if you see your data being exposed on a website, you can just copy the link, drop it into the custom removals tab, and Incogni will take care of the rest. I recommend you use Incogni, 1, because I use it and it works. Number 2, they sponsored me, so they're goated with the sauce. And 3, you can use my code Doxie to get 60% off your annual plan so you can feel as safe and protected online as me. Thank you so much, Incogni, for being my sponsor today. Now let's get back to the video. The first 12 minutes of the halftime show is just a red screen with the words "event starting soon" on it, which felt like a threat to me. But at the bottom of the screen, it read things like, "Change the culture on your campus. Text chapter to 71776. We're the mission. Text merch to 71776 from merch. Text freedom to 71776 to get involved in the movement."
The letter Vav is also the number 6. Short top, long tail. Short top, long tail. Real women. You could have here in Hebrew 666 on the can. And what is witchcraft?
Nice.
When the cross,
Madam Horrible MM.
goes upside down,
Flip it around.
bottoms up.
Wicked Witch.
I mean, damn! This is worse than an army recruitment booth at a high school job fair. I feel like I'm at a timeshare meeting at Disney World. I didn't come here because I want a timeshare. I just wanted the $50 gift card. I'm not signing up. I came here for Kid Rock. Not to join a movement. No agenda, my freaking butt. After 12 minutes of that screen, it changed to a timer of 15 minutes with ads every 30 seconds. On any other occasion, I would definitely complain about that, but I would have done anything to get away from the music that they were playing. It was like this horrifying corporate rock, but instead of using a real guitar, they just layered 20 recorders on top of each other in GarageBand. And it was the same 3 notes just over and over again. I can still hear it in my head. Make it stop. The first ad is for joining Turning Point USA.
Turning Point USA is the most important organization in the country, period.
The most important organization in the country? You're putting yourself above Feeding America right now? Before St. Jude Children's Research Hospital? No. We gotta turn these kids evangelical. That's what really matters. Why save them physically when we could save them spiritually and take all their money?
It's going to be early mornings, it's going to be late nights, but you all get to know that you're doing something rewarding. That is not just, a career and you check the box.
You're gonna be working, sweating, crying 24 hours a day. It's not gonna be fun. You're gonna break your back. You're not gonna have a career, but you will make us money. That sounds really convincing. It's hard not to talk about this concert without talking about Charlie Kirk because he was a huge part of it. I'm not happy that he died. I don't think that anybody should die by gun violence.
I think it's worth it.
Charlie is shown in a lot of these commercials, if not most of them. One that stood out for me was the Hillsdale College commercial. It's just a montage of Charlie, and it has this really cheesy song. It's like Phil Collins' reheated AI nachos. If I could learn like Charlie. This man said, quote,
"Empathy and sympathy." I can't stand the word empathy, actually. I think empathy is a made-up new age term that does a lot of damage, but...
Hey, so... thinking something doesn't actually make it true. You know that, right? What if I just said, I don't think horses are real. I just think somebody made them up for the conservative agenda. Doesn't that sound dumb? I mean, not to argue with a dead man, but wait a minute. Actually, Charlie, are you there? Aw, shit, he doesn't want to talk to me. There were also religious ads. One for a movie where they're definitely going to tell you dinosaurs don't exist, and the other for a religious tour that Erica is going on. I really hope she comes down from the ceiling in like a pantsuit made out of diamonds and then shoes completely out of gold. And she's just up there. She's like pink. She's singing, oh,
There was a time when the good news stayed inside church walls, when believers grew comfortable and quiet. In that silence, worldly living was celebrated, truth was ignored, and people faced eternity separated from God.
We as Christians are called to go into the public arena to correct error with truth.
Just a friendly reminder that gay bad, drag bad, white man getting arrested bad. Oh, look at all the beautiful land God created.
Eternal punishment is real, but your forgiveness is greater.
Don't forget you're gonna burn in hell because what? That's right, you're bad. Okay, let's play two truths and a lie. The sky is blue, the grass is green, and there's no agenda in an anti-woke conservative halftime show. Which one do you think is the lie?
You shouldn't have to be wondering if the performers are going to be wearing dresses and they happen to be men, or celebrating queer identity. It's like, come on, guys.
Ooh, hard to guess. I know that it feels like it's taken forever for me to get to the actual part of the concert. And now you know how watching the concert felt. After the timer ended, it just went back to the original screen for like 20 more minutes. And then they put another timer. But finally, after 40 minutes of seeing red, literally, it started.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Turning Point USA All-American Halftime Show. And this one's for you, Charlie.
Man, the fireworks are anticlimactic, I would say. That is exactly what a climax feels like on antidepressants.
When it reverts, here. Lord, please. Ow, Lord.
The first person to perform was Brantley Gilbert.
I hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous. I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the All-American Halftime Show. Let's get to it. This is Real American.
I watched this the first time. I was like, oh my God, I get it. We're in America. Could we be any more clear?
But no, Real American is his first song. It's like if the Star Spangled Banner was a rock song and they also talked about how great beer is. And I only know this because I had to look up every single lyric of every single song performed in this show. I couldn't understand it, any of it. Even the closed captions gave up. They just kept randomly saying heat, sometimes heat, heat. Thank you for your reminder, YouTube, but I already know the temperature of where I'm going when I die because I've heard it 400 times today.
We're up on the rooster crow.
I must say, to produce a whole alternate halftime show for people who couldn't understand the real halftime show, and then not make it understandable, is a little ironic. Don't you think? He also performed his song, I Cannot Make This Up, called Dirt Road Anthem. He talks about life in a small town with lyrics like, we like cornbread and biscuits, and if it's broke round here, we fix it. My collar's blue, but my neck's red. But the real heart of this song is in the chorus, where you actually realize that this is an ode to drunk driving. I'm gonna have to read a lot of lyrics because I don't want to get demonetized and mama needs her money. Yeah, I'm chilling on a dirt road, laid back, swerving like I'm George Jones, an ice cold beer sitting in the console. I was like, who is George Jones? Is that a NASCAR driver? No. George Jones is a famous country singer who was a known alcoholic who only got sober because he almost died in a car accident. So the family-friendly content here is drunk driving is fun. Also, brass knuckles on the microphone seems a little violent, but I'll let it slide because he only has a pinky in. I can't say drinking isn't American though. It is mentioned in almost every single song in the halftime show. Brice's portion is almost all about drinking. He has a whole song called I Belong to the Drinking Class.
I belong to the drinking class.
I couldn't understand what he was saying before I looked it up, but this is what I thought those words could be. I belong to the tree he climbs. I belong to the tree of life. And I belong to the ant and fly. I don't know, what, if you didn't know what he was saying, what would you think? Don't judge me. You know how long it's been since I've watched something without subtitles? I belong to the tree he climbs. Dude, my brain was working overtime. I was like, did Jesus climb a tree in the Bible? Or like, I'm confused. The song premise is basically this. I work a 9 to 5 and it's exhausting and it sucks and I drink a lot to cope. He's a country singer wearing tight little jeans
and a tight little leather jacket.
This is just how country singers work. It's what they do. Just like Remington Watson or whatever, wearing a Louis Vuitton shirt, singing about dirt. They all sing about working hard on the farm and drinking beer and living a simple life. All the while being very wealthy, living in a multi-million-dollar mansion in Nashville, aka East Coast LA,
AKA the land of girl wear cowboy boot, boy wear cowboy hat.
And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being a wealthy country singer. I'm just saying it's a little predictable and a little bit formulaic and cheesy.
That's my opinion!
And that's why I knew I wasn't gonna enjoy this concert anyways, disregarding the political aspect of it, because I'm sorry, I don't really like country music. So I guess you could say I'm a little bit out of the loop, which is why I was really surprised when this happened.
Yeah, back in the day, Pop's Farm was a place to go.
Oh. I didn't know they started rapping too.
Nope. No more of that. We're done. You're done. Get those lights off. Off! I don't want to hear that ever again.
I was having a decent time watching it after the ads, potentially because it was hilarious, but I started to really not enjoy my time anymore after Brice came out and sang his new song that he was debuting that was dedicated to Charlie Kirk.
Well, Charlie, he gave people microphones.
You get a microphone and you get a microphone. Everybody look under your seat, you're all getting microphones. Except you, Thomas, I know you're gay.
I just want to catch my fish.
I know he didn't say, kiss my fish, but it definitely sounds like it, and that's what everyone else is saying. So when I tell you this concert was not understandable, that is just a testament. Also, why does every country singer, why do they all sound like this? I belong to the... Okay.
Drink my beer.
Yeah, we know you like to drink. In the song, he explains he just wants to live his daily life without having to watch the news and hear that somebody else passed away from gun violence. That is so freaking relatable, dude. Like, you can't even feel normal while doing normal things because the whole world around you is burning. Yes, dude. Yes, that is exactly what we've been saying. Why is no one else clapping? He then goes on to sing. I'm gonna say the whole lyrics this time. I just wanna cut my grass, feed my dog, wear my boots, not turn the TV on, sit and watch the evening news, be told if I tell my own daughter
that little boys ain't little girls.
I'll be up the creek in hot water with this cancel your ass world. Oh, we're gonna clap to that? Oh, that's what we're gonna clap to? Christianity revolves around a guy who hung out with people who were mistreated for being different. And then a Christian guy writes a song mistreating people for being different. And then the audience is just like, yes, finally, the real problem with America. Pronouns. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. I gotta say it, dude. Don't make me say what I'm about to say. Don't make me do it. So you're telling me that your faith asks you to believe that a virgin woman gave birth to a son who died, but then came back to life and then arose to heaven and said, see y'all there. But you draw the line at a person being born in the wrong body? Like, out of everybody here, like, I feel like you guys should be the ones that are like, you know what, hell yeah. Guys, I made my own version. I've been practicing. I just wanna dye my hair, pierce my nose, trim my bush. Now wake up to a tweet from Asmund Gold. Call me a fat millennial. Who did it better? The song is called Country Nowadays, saying it's hard to be country in this country nowadays. The song isn't about trans people. It's about how people are calling him mean for being a conservative because he has his morals. I couldn't think of any other group of Americans who are having a harder time. I think it's just tough to be an American right now. Tensions are high. We're as separated as ever. I mean, we can't even watch a damn concert together. And who set that system up? I'm not saying things like, God isn't real, believe science or suffer the consequences. Even so, I can still feel for him because I know what it's like to feel hated for your morals and values. I can feel for him thanks to the real emotion that is empathy.
I think it's worth it.
I myself am about to get hundreds of comments calling me horrible things and saying, oh, nose ring theory, nose ring theory. I don't have a nose ring. They're studs. I don't have a septum piercing. You can't even get your damn theory right. Anyways, the headliner.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our homie, Kid Rock.
My name is... Kid Rock's performance was bad, like really bad, but his outfit was worse. A bowler hat, an oversized fur vest, and jorts. Jorts! Wow. Take a minute. Take it all in. I'll give it to him where it counts. He is having the time of his life up there. Out of everybody else on that stage today, Mama worked that runway, and nobody else did that. Nobody else had the guts to tilt their bowler hat sideways like that and rock it. And nobody else had the guts to take away their microphone when they're supposed to be singing every 3 seconds. Everybody was saying that he was lip syncing, and this was his response.
Turning point event. So they sent me a first cut. You know, we taped it, and then they sent me a first cut, and my comment was, the sync is off.
The sync's off? Well, good for them for not wasting water. Thank God for Kid Rock, because I would have never known that this was pre-recorded. I thought the power of Jesus was in them, making them disappear off the stage. I've been fooled. Like, that's the most awkward audience ever. I hear that they were hired for like $200 for the day, but I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Maybe I'll look up the facts later. Or you can. I don't want to research everything, okay? You do it. You don't know how hard it is. Try being an influencer for a day. Try it.
There were actually only 180 people in the audience, and they used camera tricks to make it look like it was really filled. The majority of the people didn't even agree once they got there and were told with doing a split halftime show. It was over 2 days of filming. These were 12-hour days. They were compensated $250 stipend for that.
He sings his song for like 40 seconds and then disappears off the stage and is replaced by a violinist and a celloist doing a duet. Kind of random. It was pretty good, but confusing. But then he is reintroduced.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our brother, Robert Ritchie.
The first time I watched this, I was like, who is Robert Ritchie? But it turns out that's Kid Rock. Kid Rock is just his drag persona. The song they ended with is called Till You Can't, about not letting opportunities pass you by, chasing your dreams, and holding your loved ones close because one day you won't be able to. I was actually really impressed with Kid Rock being able to write such a heartfelt song, because it wasn't. It wasn't his song. It's a cover. Kid Rock sang half an original song and then a cover. That's like if I went to a Chapel Roan concert and she sang Pink Pony Club and then an entire Katy Perry album. I'd be pissed. He did add a verse though.
Something or someone spoke to me. They said there was still a verse that needed to be written for this song.
Saying to pick up that dusty Bible and read it.
There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off.
Because you can love and believe in Jesus until you can't. Because then you'll die, go to hell. And then the camera comes out and it pans to our one true God, Charlie Kirk. In conclusion, we got 2 halftime shows this year. One halftime show was an excellent performance about faith, family, and freedom, and the other one was Turning Point USA's. But despite their differences, they both centered around drugs and sex, and that is the goddamn United States of America. Please clap.